Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be not very sensible and do part 1 of my favourite 50 directors, and they're kind of ranked. Now obviously this is going to be fluid, it will change almost week to week, but I thought I would just put a line in the sand for January 2023 and what are my favourite 50 film directors and kind of rank them. Now obviously there are directors that will be in your top 10 that I will not have on my list. That is not because I don't like them, but that's probably because in my ignorance I haven't seen enough of their films, or perhaps their films just don't really connect with me on a cellular level. So for example, people will be shocked if they don't know anything about this channel that, for example, Alfred Hitchcock is nowhere near my favourite 50. He's probably not in my favourite 100, because I was thinking, is 50 too much or too many? Then you realise the people that you're actually leaving off. But Hitchcock will be nowhere in sight. Every Hitchcock film that I've watched has been a good film, but I just kind of missed the party on Hitchcock, as those who follow the channel will know. The same with Fellini, Ozu. For those directors I just haven't seen enough. Same with Godard, haven't seen enough or saw them a long time ago. There are a couple of directors on the list that I need to re-watch, but I've put them on the list because they're that important to my memory. And again, I'm kind of maybe hoping to do this every year, and we'll just see where things land and how your tastes change. So for example, the kind of big takeaway is many of your favourite directors won't be on the list. Again, you need to do your own top director list, as SGS Arts began. And we can go over to his channel and see where he got to. I think he did his favourite 40. And the other bombshell is there's a change at the top on my list. I didn't think I would ever say that, but there is a change to the top of my list. But to stop the video being 10 hours long, I'm going to split it in two parts. So this is number 50 to number 26. I'm not going to go into too much detail because most people will know who those directors are. And another bombshell, Ron Howard and Christopher Nolan don't make the top 50 either. Maybe one day. At number 50, this is complete recency bias. This is a director that I've literally only watched in the last 6 months. It's a director that allegedly has a very patchy career before his purple patch and has a fairly patchy career after his purple patch. But this is Yasuzo Masamura. Let's just call him Masamura. Arrow has released a fair few of his films, obviously not enough. That's Giants versus Toys. They've also got Red Angel, which is fantastic, and Blind Beast, which is fantastic, and Black Teskar, which is fantastic, and Black Report, which is pretty fantastic. But again, this is recency bias because I've only really watched or known of his films fairly recently. That's usually what recency bias does. At number 49, John Boorman. Again, a mixed bag of subjects. but all done with panache and aplomb. You know, the directors 50 to 26 are a little bit more fluid, and you could make the argument some could be higher, some could be lower. Again, this is just a bit of fun. Don't shout at me too much for if your director's not where you think it should be or not even here. Number 48, George Romero. This is Knight Riders, which allegedly was his favourite film, and nothing to do with zombies. Number 47, again, somebody did a lot of things, but is more famous for one kind of thing. Mario Bava, it's Planet of the Vampires. I actually have two versions of this from Kino Lorber. This is the latest version with a wonderful Kim Newman, Barry Forshaw commentary. Mario Bava, such vivid colours, apart from these black and white films. At 46 is another relatively new director to myself, because I'm just ignorant. Toshiaki Toyoda. This is the second box set from Third Window, which is gorgeous, just like the first box set. Has Toyoda made a masterpiece? Personally, for me, no, but his batting average is really, really high. Next is a director. At some point I will do a director series on, because he has a fascinating career of two halves. I mean, obviously when you're talking about the best of the best and the cream of the crop, it's about consistency throughout the career, I think. But it's Canada's Atom Egoyan. Again, first half of his career, art house, edgy, kind of transgressive subject matter. Second half, gun for hire, making erotic thrillers and stuff. I would quite like to talk to Atom Egoyan one day and actually ask what happened. Next, at number 44, obviously amongst certain corners of YouTube, this would be Heresy. Again, this is a director that used to be very high on my list but has slipped somewhat. And that is Martin Scorsese. Here's After Hours. I mean, as much as we kind of poo-poo Scorsese's last 20 odd years, he did have an impact on all of us at a certain age. But again, I'll repeat what I've repeated 28 times. I think the last 20 years, his work in restoring films and spotlighting films and filmmakers is probably more important than his actual output himself. At 43, Clouseau, not Inspector, Henri Georges. And this is A Murder Lives at 21, which is absolutely fantastic. Good old misanthropic Clouseau. At 42, Bong Joon-ho. This is a nice Memories of Murder, Barking Dogs Never Bite double pack. There's also the box set that's also available. Number 41, Low for Some, Brian De Palma. This is The Wonderful Phantom of Paradise. Number 40, Low for Some, Howard Hawks. This is Bringing Up Baby, which got a long-awaited Blu-ray release. Howard Hawks, lots of his films are straight up perfect. Again, somebody did lots of different things, but did them generally all well. Number 39 is Sam Fuller. This is The Incredible Naked Kiss. Again, another guy who did lots of different things. Number 38 is a director I'm currently doing a director series on, which I will get back to, so I suppose I better put him on the list. It's Joseph Losey. This is The Go-Between. Possibly my second favourite Losey film. Again, did lots of different subject matter. Number 37 is Nicholas Ray. Speaking of somebody else who did lots of different things. Johnny Guitar, just in case you didn't know. Number 36, Kim Ji-woon. This is Bittersweet Life, which is A lovely, lovely film. 36. Paul Schrader. Wonderful early work, perhaps wobbly in the middle, and one of the best comebacks late. That's the card counter. Number 34. The Coen Brothers. This is The Perfect Miller's Crossing. 33. One of only two quote-unquote modern directors that are in my top favourite 50. Not top 50, favourite 50. It's just an opinion and it's not fact. The Dardennes, which I did do a director series on. I didn't actually realise they've got a new film that should be coming to physical media quite soon. This is The Marvellous 2 Days, 1 Night, which is just one of the truly great films of the last 20 years. Number 32, David Mamet. Again, the back half of his career, probably not as good as the first half, but has some just fantastic little films. Again, it's more about the language than, the image perhaps with Mamet. Number 31, Fritz Lang. Again, who had 2 careers, possibly 3 careers. This is Die Nibelungen. Number 30, somebody else that's probably slipped, John Carpenter. This is one of my many versions of The Thing. Number 29, another director I have done a series on. He's probably went up. Jodorowsky. This is the lovely Severin 4K of Santa Sangre. Number 28, one of my favourite Italians, Elio Petri. This is the masterful Property Is No Longer a Theft. Also the slightly more famous Petri ones. Great to see Radiance releasing some Petri. Hopefully we'll see more of his films. Unfortunately, another one in the long list that died way too soon. But Property Is No Longer a Theft is absolutely wonderful. Number 27, good old Hal Hartley. Not for everybody, quirky, which you're either going to like or get really annoyed by, but still kicking, still in there at number 27. And then finally at number 26, again another relatively new, in the last 2 or 3 years, the films of Jacques Becker. Studio Canal are releasing a box set which pretty much just has all these single releases. Tushy Pau Grisby, Cast Door, which recently got 4K as well, Faraband, and Edward and Caroline, which is probably my least favourite Becker just because of the subject matter. But Latrue is one of the best prison films. It's an absolute stunner. So that's Jacques Becker at number 26. So that wasn't too long. I got through them fairly quickly because I'm not going to get into too much detail, as you've probably heard it all before. So that's 50 to 26 of my current favourite 50. Please let me know in the comments below what your favourite 50 to 26 is, or let me know all the abuse for putting somebody at 42 instead of 40. But again, this is just a bit of fun. And again, it's just an opinion, and my opinion is certainly not fact. So thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you'll join me for 25 to 1, including a shake-up in the top 5. This is Solitary Ronin, delivering bombshells from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.